Hi everyone, welcome to Vlogmas day 17. Today we are going to be talking about 12 things that you should declutter before the end of the year, before 2022. Today I want to share with you 12 things that I think it would be a really good idea to get sorted out and decluttered before 2022. Mostly based on my experiences of things I've been decluttering in this last quarter of the year, things that I want to get out of the way so I'm fresh to start 2022 with minimal clutter. So many of the things I'm going to mention today will be in the video that goes live on Sunday, which will be my trying to declutter 2021 items in 2021. So if you're interested to see how I did with that, remember to stay tuned for Sunday's video. These are in no particular order. I just listed 12 things that I have personally decluttered over the last couple of months or plan to before 2022 starts. So I'm going to share those with you now. So the first one is makeup and beauty items that you will not use anymore, and that includes things like old brushes and sponges and any tools. I have learnt this, that you do not get through as much makeup as you think you do, even over the course of the year. Last year I refused to declutter any makeup because I was trying to use it all up and I barely made a dent in what I had. So at the start of 2021, I decluttered everything that I didn't really like, and then I tried to project pan the rest. And even after decluttering a massive proportion of my makeup, I still did not manage to pan everything this year, and I only had a few items to work with. You're not going to get through all that makeup, so don't drive yourself crazy trying to. If there's anything you don't like to use, that you really don't want to keep and you'd be happy to see the back of, then please just go ahead and declutter it. Don't torture yourself with these items that you're not going to use. Number 2 is excess stationery. This is one that I've had trouble with because I have wanted to declutter my stationery for a very long time, and I finally did it about, I want to say, a month ago. Just because I was convinced, you know, pens and stuff, you're eventually going to use them up or they're going to dry out, so it would be a waste to get rid of them. But my stationery drawer was overflowing, it was really cluttered and driving me mad, so I really just wanted to get a handle on it and declutter all the things that I didn't think I was going to use, and just kept a small selection of items that I will use, and now it feels just a whole lot better. So tackle that stationery drawer or cupboard, wherever you keep your stuff, and get it down to a more manageable situation so it doesn't feel overwhelming every time you open that drawer. Number 3, this was a big one for me, and that is to declutter, and this is quite broad, but just odd bits and pieces that I would say you haven't used for maybe 2 or more years. For me, this was my garage. I went through and I found a whole bunch of stuff that I'd kept kind of as just in case items, things that I think, well, if this breaks, it'd be handy to just have that, but not really knowing fully what I would use it for, like things like screws that come in all different sizes, but where you haven't got like an actual selection of them, you've probably just got like 1 or 2, or bits that come with flat pack furniture that you might think, oh, that might be handy later on. We furnished our whole house mostly on IKEA furniture nearly 3 years ago, and I kept all the little spare parts and bits that came with it, and I've never used a single one. So I just felt like the time had come to let some of those bits go because they were taking up a lot of space. I kept an awful lot of them, and it was literally a just in case, and they were just little bits and pieces. If there's little bits like in your junk drawer, in your garage, anywhere that are just kind of driving you a little bit mad every time you look at them, but you think, well, what if I will need that someday? Just let go. If you're ready to let go, just let it go. Number 4, I feel, will be a pretty common one in videos like this, and that is clothes that you won't go back to. Whether your style has changed recently, whether your body shape and size has changed recently, if there's anything that you are not going to go back to, that you're holding on to either because you spent a lot of money on it, you don't feel like you've got the wear out of it, or you kind of just feel guilty letting it go, just do it. Just let it go, donate it, sell it. Someone else can get the use out of it. You don't have to trash it, and it doesn't have to then be wasteful. Find a responsible way of passing that item on so someone else can get the use out of it, and then it's not sat in your wardrobe staring at you. If you've got all the wear out of it that you're going to and you just want to let it go, then find a way to do that sensibly. And kind of in the same area, number 5 is to let go of any old underwear or pyjamas. Granted, you probably don't want to donate these items onto someone else, but if you've got old ones, things that are worn, faded, damaged beyond repair, you know, I had pyjamas with like loads of holes in, and this time last year I got rid of those and got new ones for Christmas. But you don't have to be getting new ones in, maybe you've got others that also work, but if you've got some that are just really past their best, let's get rid of those. Let's not take old, damaged, holey things into the new year with us. Let's let those go and move on. Number 6 is old cables, the things that you're not exactly sure what they go to anymore, things you've got duplicates of, things that just sort of clutter in a bundle together in a drawer somewhere. I know that that's still one thing I need to do before the year is up, and that is go through one of our electronics drawers downstairs in the living room and get rid of all the bits and pieces that I know we no longer need. Number 7 is your camera roll in your phone, and the only thing that sparked this as a thing that I needed to sort out, and I'm pinpointing more towards this than your own main camera roll, is that folder that WhatsApp creates for photos and videos. I looked at mine today and there is nearly 2,000 images in that folder from the things we share back and forth, mainly in our group chats. If you don't go back to look at those things regularly, then there's probably a ton of stuff in there that you can delete and declutter from your phone. What I plan on doing is going through, and anything that I want to keep, like for example the photos my sister sent of her daughter, if I want to keep those, I will move those into a folder of photos I actually want to keep on my phone so I can get rid of the rest, because sometimes it's just us being silly and sending random things and jokes and stuff back and forth between each other. So there is a lot of stuff in there that can just go. The next one is your paperwork. Get your documents in order by the end of the year. If you've got any little bit of spare time over the holidays and you've got a bit of time at home where you're not going to be disturbed, maybe it's one of those, you know, quiet days after Christmas, get your documentation in order, get it filed, get what you don't need shredded or disposed of, however you do that, and just get everything in order. No one wants to go into the new year with a stack of documents that needs sorting out. So declutter what you don't need, file what you do, and get your documentation sorted out. Little bit of a Christmas one for number 9, and that is any Christmas decorations you haven't used in over 3 years. I say 3 years because this year when I decluttered my Christmas decorations and put my decorations up and all of that, I realised that there were some things that I didn't use last year that I wanted to use this year, and there were some things that I did use last year but I didn't want to use this year, but I might want to again next year. So I wouldn't just say every single year if you don't use it that means you should automatically let it go, unless it's something you really don't like or care for anymore. But if it's something you haven't used for 3 consecutive years, that might be a good indication that you're not going to go back to that item, so maybe it is time to let it go. Number 10 are masks that just weren't the one. I think we've all got into a realisation now that we had the good masks, the ones that fit our face well. We've all got our favourites. It's kind of like socks, I think. You always go back to your favourite pair, don't you? And with masks, we've all got the ones that fit well and suit our face shape right and feel comfortable, don't hurt behind the ears. If, like me, you sometimes wear glasses, ones that don't cause your glasses to steam up. We've all found which ones are the one, and we found out which ones aren't. We've reached that point. The ones that aren't the one need to go. So for me, I bought initially just a pack of 5 reusables, and since then I have bought 3 other ones, individual ones that were much higher quality, and they've got that nose piece around here that shapes it well. The 3 that are higher quality, I change between those 3, and the pack of 5 I just never reach for. So any masks that you just don't reach for because you've got better ones that are just kind of there in your way, get rid of them. I think that might be a new one for some people. If we bought reusable masks, we may never have decluttered a mask before. I've never decluttered a mask before, and I know it's something I need to do. So have a think about that one before the end of the year. Number 11 is definitely something I have been guilty of, and that is the items that we got for our lockdown hobbies that just didn't take off. So for me, that was mainly gardening and pottery. I bought a few things to try out in those 2 areas, and I just didn't continue with it, and so this year I've had to declutter some of that stuff because it was just lying around and it did feel like a waste, but if I'm not going to use it, it makes sense that someone who will use it gets the chance to. So that was something I let go of in the latter part of this year. You maybe have something along the same lines that you need to get rid of as well. And the last one, number 12, is really, really important. The things you guilt yourself into keeping. Let's not take those into 2022. You know, we've had a difficult couple of years. Let's give ourselves a little bit of freedom, you know, something that you have kept because your brain tells you you should keep it and you'll feel bad if you don't. Whether that is something you were gifted and you just want to let it go, whether that was an item that was a little bit sentimental once but is no longer sentimental or isn't as sentimental and you feel like you shouldn't let it go. Maybe it's from a relative that is no longer with us and so you would feel really bad letting it go. If the time has come to let it go, let it go. Maybe it's something that you bought new fairly recently, not so recent that you'd be able to return it, but it is recent to you and so it feels awful that you've spent your money on that and you haven't got much use out of it, but actually that item didn't work out for you. Find a way to pass it on to somebody else one way or another who will use it. Stop guilting yourself over it. We've all made mistakes when we've bought something. Even if it's new and you need to get it out of your space, just do it. And there could be a whole bunch of other reasons why you might feel guilty about letting something go, but let's not drag that into 2022. Make 2022 a good year. Start well. Start by decluttering the stuff you don't want before you even get there. And that's all for today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you found some of it helpful. If you did, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and don't forget I will be back for tomorrow's video where we will be looking at whether or not I was able to declutter 2021 items in 2021, as well as looking at a net number of items removed from my home when I balance out everything I also brought in compared to what I took out. So look out for that one at some point tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Until then, take care. Bye.